Hello everyone, I'm Renown Zero and we're back again talking about the attacks on the Saska sisters continues to ramp up as we get closer and closer to the Yaira release. We also had some silly things being said by certain people online, like Black Angus, of course Buster Baxter, and of course Pito, as again they as well ramp up the attacks on the Saska sisters as they're approaching the release of Yaira #1. We're going to go over all that here today, starting, of course, with the Rippaverse store. Oh, shocking. You can still buy Alpha Core even though the campaign is finished. They added a new Braxwell shirt after the campaign ended, so you can pick up all your items here, get in where you fit in. You also have Blade Devil 2, Chains of Blood, sitting at 149k. Beautiful artwork by the amazing ToxicManBaby and written by Raging Golden Eagle. So you can pick it up here. All the links to everything I show will be listed in the description. We also have Sick Fox Studios at 32k. You can get Blade Devil 1 here for just $10 if you want to get in on the beginning of this story. Pick from covers A, B, or C. Of course, you won't get the foil like I have from the original campaign, but you can still get a great read here. Death at Death by Joe Ball, 89k, 1172 backers, 300-page graphic novel for just 18 bucks if you want a manga edition, $30 if you want the line art edition, 45 if you want the color edition. We'll check out all some of the artwork here and colors as well. So you have the color edition here, line art here, manga here, so on and so on. I'm also looking to get Black Rhapsody. I'm pretty sure the shipment is going to be starting soon, so get in on this if you want to get in on something like this. Might not be everybody's type of style, but I always love these manga style books and storylines, so get in on it while you can. As you can see, it is lettered by Eric Weathers, so you know that's another project. That is another project he is on. Now, this is the most recent campaign I've backed. Obviously, 11 backers, 27 days to go, 276. I did back cover C. So we have covers, it's of course a manga edition. We have covers down here. As I scroll through the campaign, you'll see some of the interiors. You got cover A right here, cover B right here, and this is cover C, the one that I chose to get. Fantastic looking book in my opinion. So get in on it if you're interested in something like this. Now, we have Mr. Buster Baxter, who believes he knows everything about business as he continues to cry about Eric July as he always has been, because that seems to be his new thing after he finished crying about Maddox. So he says here Eric's business model is the funniest part of all this. He's running an empty warehouse at a loss. It's not empty. It has product that he continues to sell after the fact his campaigns end. You're just dumb. To market comics written by other people. He wrote Ice, I'm stupid. People who can demand 100% of the profit at any time because the talent pool for right-wing culture war crap is very small. No, it isn't. The most important skill Eric should have is the ability to identify up-and-coming talent so he doesn't have to rely on established and expensive names, but he can't even identify competent stories from complete crap. Bankruptcy is inevitable. You are a moron. Yes, he made millions of dollars, totally up for bankruptcy, even though he has made profits on every single book and campaign that's come out. You're just a jealous little fool. You try to make jokes like this. You look stupid, by the way. You look like a pilot. You don't even look like Braxwell. You look like an absolute moron, as you always do. You look like a moron. You're saying Braxwell's a ripoff, I guess, of these characters. These are characters from Venture Brothers, I believe, is where you got that from. Now you try to come at someone like Hill the Lore's neck, someone who's completely void of your nonsense and just wants to review books. So he's reviewed this book, and this book, saying it's books he's read so far this year, all absolute bangers. And of course, you thought by responding with this image, a blown up, pixelated image of a character in Ingrid Valdez, you thought somehow it would be an own. But of course, you are an absolute moron, like you've always been. A true lol cow and Juju the cow. Your reaction to the post, and this is what your face really looks like, because these are the type of customers you're never going to get. People who actually spend money on stuff. We also had Funky Eskimo, who made this image, supposed to be John Kent and Nightwing, saying, so tracing 3D assets is okay. Something they never proved, but by the way. They've never actually proved that Eric's artist traced anything, but Ethan's out there with actual video proof saying that he traced stuff. Traced Giant Stadium, for a Green Lantern book. It is what it is as long as you're meeting deadlines and you have that following that is equal parts stupid and feel guilty to support black business, not be labeled racist. So apparently, according to these weirdos, we're supporting Eric July because we don't want to be labeled as racist and we should support black businesses, even though it's just that he has different opinions and different views on the world and politics that are different from theirs. So they think, hey, we're just doing this just because he's black. Also, criticizing woke agenda while having employees that support the left movements is okay. Yeah, because he's always said it doesn't matter what your politics are as long as you don't insert it into the material. He doesn't actually care. He's said this from the beginning, and you guys are absolute idiots for spewing this regurgitated nonsense because you're so used to the mainstream doing this shit that because Eric has someone that politics differ, you think it's going to be the same nonsense because they're actually just contracted, so anything other creators do under said company is not liable for it. You're a moron, just like everybody else. So we have this gentleman here who wants to say Eric's gonna go bankrupt while saying he's a millionaire, which makes absolutely no sense. We're gonna listen to this video and we're gonna react to it. Let's get into it.
This is Dave with BTM Reviews. Sorry, I haven't been here in a few days. I've been out of town. But tonight, I want to talk about Eric July and his simps.
Simps in this case would require you are paid to say good things about his book, even though people who say good things about his book have actually purchased the product with their own money, which people like this and others believe that you wasted your money. You should be spending your money on this. Stop worrying about what other people are spending their money on. You're weird. You're absolutely weird. And to the people who try to count people's money, stop being so gay. You're really weird.
Eric is going to be bankrupt if he keeps making decisions like he's making. Paying for oversized warehouses, full-time staff of 12 to 18 people.
Oversized warehouses that house product that is sold after the campaigns are finished, and having full-time staff that he pays that actually get paid enough to make a living. Yeah, so terrible of Eric July to hire people full-time so that they can have a living too.
The money runs out. He's not producing a book a month, and he's losing 33 to 60% per book.
Welcome to reality of comic books. You supposedly have all this comic book stuff behind you, yet you never took the time to realize that every number 2 does less than every number 1. Or like, you're supposed to be a comic book fan, right? You should know that. And AlphaCore and ISOM are 2 different properties. Not everyone's going to show up for ISOM that showed up for AlphaCore. It's just like the people who only show up for Batman are not going to show up for Superman, might not show up for Wonder Woman, might not show up for Green Lantern, at least on the DC side. People who buy Spider-Man aren't going to show up for, anything else that they have. Thor, Captain America, Iron Man. They're not all the same readers. Not everyone buys every character that comes out of a comic book company. But you're supposed to be a comic book fan, and you don't understand this basic logic.
I've heard that this Yaira book is his magnus opus. Well, what the fuck was AlphaCore? What the hell was ISOM 1 and 2? Just get your feet in the water? Well, they were so bad.
Yeah, ISOM 1 was the launching pad for the entire universe.
That you've turned off 65% of your initial customers.
ISOM was so bad, is your opinion. Nobody cares that you have this opinion. This is not a factual statement. This is the thing that these weirdos and people like this do not understand. So this guy's essentially regurgitating points that have been made by other detractors and other haters. It's all a huge hive mind and NPC behavior where you just regurgitate the same thing over and over and over again, expecting everyone to believe you and everyone to agree with you. It's weird. It's always been weird that you think everyone should believe that ISOM is bad. People believe ISOM is good. There are people who believe that it's a masterpiece. There are people that believe that's great. There are people that believe that it's amazing. There are people that think it's bad. Everyone has differing opinions. Your opinion isn't gospel. I've said this plenty of times in plenty of videos. Your opinion, if you believe ISOM is bad, is not gospel. It is not a factual statement. Stop with the BS and just say it's your opinion. Don't pass it off as if it's fact.
Base. But man, I see on Twitter tonight, oh, I got my first Dyson book. And then you see oh, it's going to be great. You'll love it. I bought the whole box. I didn't love it, and I sold that shit on eBay.
Good for you. You're allowed to not love it. Shocking. I know your mind is blown that some people like something and some people don't like something. It's like a new concept to these people. It's absolutely amazing. It is a new concept that people can buy the same book and one person could like it and one person could not like it. It's shocking to me.
As soon as I got it, because it was not good. He can't even have a
Still doesn't pass it off as an opinion. You're saying it as if it's a factual statement. That's what people are not liking. Say in my opinion, because it's not a fact.
conversation with me. 2 conversations with me over 2 weeks, and he fucking blocks me. I'm not a millionaire like Aaron July.
There it is. Eric is a millionaire, but he's gonna go bankrupt. Yeah, okay.
Some guy. But no, he blocks me. I wasn't rude.
By the way, in the video, you don't actually show the conversation that you had that led to being blocked. If you're going to claim that the person is blocking you, at the very least, show the conversation that has led up to you being blocked. That would give more context to your statements. At the very least, you have a little bit of legs to stand on by showing that, but you probably won't do that because you know you got blocked for a pretty good reason.
I just told him to be better. That's all I said. Be better.
Because even I know that's not what you said.
His version of being better is making a video about having fun. You're 3
Oh no, Big Bad Eric July made a video about having fun. Oh, wow.
books in, dude. You're a 2-year-old company. If you have to remind yourself to have fun, you are fucked. Okay.
If you have to remind yourself that an opinion is not a fact, you are fucked. See how that works? It sounds dumb.
Okay. If you got to convince yourself that you need to have fun, it's over, Johnny. Or just
I can tell you right now, you didn't even watch the video.
fucking gay as he is.
Says the person who's obsessed with Eric's money and how he's running his business, just like the rest of y'all that are obsessed and quote unquote devoted to always trying to knock the man down because he's doing something more successful than you. While you sip your alcohol. GG. Moving on. He said fans of Eric are simps who support him because Eric July is the white man's cause. Read that quote again. How is it simply critiquing the Rippaverse when he says Eric has fan support because of his race? Do you know how insulting that is? Oh yeah, let's listen to it. It's 23 seconds. Let's listen to it.
Come on, guys. These people that are out here simping for Eric July are like all these white women that are simping for Black Lives Matter.
Well, I'm not white, so you're racist. I'm Puerto Rican, so.
Or DEI, or whatever cause that they can come up with. And Eric July is the white man's cause.
Again, I'm not white, so you're racist. So on top of being an idiot, on top of being a detractor who's regurgitating the same nonsense over and over, you're also racist. Because black people have supported him, Puerto Rican people have supported him, myself, I'm Puerto Rican, and white people have supported him. I'm sure other races have supported him as well, but because you believe that it's all white man's cause, you're racist. Congratulations for outing yourself.
We have to support him because we have no other alternative.
Oh, there's plenty of alternatives. There are just some people that prefer to get all their comics from one person. I'm sure there are people out there that just want to get all their comics from a certain individual out there that's drama farming, but you know, we're just going to keep regurgitating the same crap over and over again. Of course, this person got BTFO saying, it's funny how this person doesn't have a meltdown and blocks everyone who says it. He says you're right, showing that he got blocked. Kenny Correa got blocked. So, yeah. Moving on to this weirdo, Mr. Black Angus, right? He says, Rip retards can't understand true devotion. Yeah, this is pretty gay. G-H-E-Y gay. So, of course, we don't understand it. A lot of us are not that lame. How could they, when they buy traced books the artists don't even care about? Still haven't proven that the books are traced, by the way. Still regurgitating the same nonsense. Like I said earlier, Ethan Van Sciver has put out a video, or at least in a live stream, he has said that he has traced Giant Stadium for a Green Lantern book. But we're not going to talk about that. We're just going to completely ignore that because it's a person they like. Here at the coalition of anti-Rippers, or Alpha Core, we dedicate every fiber of our being to hate Ripper. The first part of our plan, crashing his warehouse. Yeah, that'll definitely go over well for you. 42K down to 13K, totally winning. Again, two different IPs. One is ISOM, one is Alpha Core. But I guess, again, they're not going to talk about the fact that this book, Cyberfrog 2, went from 1.2 mil and 11,893 backers, not counting the Second Chance campaign, down to less than half at 4,400. We're not going to talk about how there's a huge dip in Cyberfrog, but we're going to talk about how two different IPs, ISOM and Alpha Core, dip, right? But we're not going to talk about this IP right here that literally is the same IP from 2 to 3, had a huge drop. Not going to talk about that, though. Well, as I said, the attacks on the Sasuke sisters, of course, are ramping up. Coming from Pito, the guy who likes that one movie on Netflix we're not going to talk about on this channel, right? Apparently, the Sasuke started in this movie, Black Angels of Heck, in a satanic horror movie called Regurgitated Sacrifice. Bro, hiring these crazy bros is legitimately the coolest thing Ripper has ever done. Again, concern trolling, as always. We have, of course, Black Angus agreeing because he is stupid. But, things like this you'll find on his timeline of a bunny, because obviously this man's a furry. I might go to church this morning. How weird is that? You want to talk about how the best thing about being a detractor is how mad it makes the leftist ripitards that your scathing, correct criticism comes from being a customer often before them and being here to enjoy more 3D dog crap Eric poops out of his warehouse. So I can tell right now you got this after the fact that ISOM 1 and 2 came out. You got this during the Alpha Core campaign just to be a weirdo, just to be a loser, just to be a detractor, as you want to claim to be. Now, of course, you want to show this picture of a panel trying to essentially own LG, which LG is way more successful and has been more successful and probably always will be more successful than you at literally anything. You want to show this, right? It says creep shaming, feminism, and geek culture. So I looked up some of the names that are there, right? So we have this person, of course, they're wearing a BLM shirt, purple hair, the usual leftist. The other person, Trisha Hirschberger, not really anything too crazy. She has a YouTube channel, made a couple of other YouTube channels. Nothing too crazy here. So, but at the end of the day, right, if you go over to the Sasuke's Twitter account, you're going to see that they have Yaira right there. They have posts of them praising the fans, right? Showing off, of course, Legion of Memers, saying things are hot, saying, agreeing with someone like this, people with issues, who says fans of Eric July know he enjoyed the Sasuke Sisters Black Widow long before he created the Rippaverse, so they were not shocked that he hired them to write Yaira. He tries to hire great people, their horror movies and their politics are irrelevant as they should be. Exactly, and that's why Eric had to come out with this video just to clarify once again that the politics of the people he hires does not matter when it comes to writing books.
I'm Eric July, the founder and owner of the Rippaverse. The world has become so polarizing that people have grown accustomed to companies taking political stances or being used as political platforms. So I don't necessarily get upset when people automatically assume that our company plays by the same set of rules, especially considering that I myself am a libertarian political commentator. But I want to remind you why I started this company. Go look at the first ever video that we released. I wanted to fix problems that plague the industry, both creatively and economically. So our goal was never to make the same exact mistakes, just having a slant to a different side of the political spectrum. That defeats the purpose. Our rule about social views and real world politics within the company is simple. Leave it at the door. We will sell our products to
Leave it at the door. Leave the politics at the door. Do not bring the politics into the company. Do not bring the politics into the material. Simple.
anybody of whatever affiliation. You're crazy if you think everybody that works for the Rippaverse is an anarcho-capitalist like me. As long as you are qualified, you can work for the Rippaverse under one condition. Don't be a hack. Have whatever views you want, just don't let it get in the way of business and don't disrespect our customers. Believe it or not, this used
A lot of simple things stated here that people do not understand because they do not want to understand. They just want to hate on a man creating a successful business.
to be a norm in American culture. I believe that's also why the Rippaverse works so well. Employees are free to be themselves on their own watch. They don't fear being punished or losing their job because
It's just like the situation where Andrew was going around calling people Muggle, right? From Harry Potter, and everyone got upset about it and tagged Eric saying, "This is how your employees act," and he basically told them to go F themselves. So,
someone disagreed with them online. Look, I get it. Your upbringing will give you a set of traits and values that make you unique. It may even influence your art or storytelling. We are not saying that you should be amoral or without principles. We just don't want this to get in the way of our stories or our business. The audience should never feel like they are being beat over the head with some current day political views. If other people in their businesses have a different approach, that's fine. I'm just telling you what our vision is with the Rippaverse. So no matter what the motives of others are or how they attempt to paint us as, the Rippaverse is a fun sandbox for everybody that wants to get into our universe. Here's some things to consider.
anyone can get into the universe regardless of your personal politics.
We care about comics and are very much a customer-driven company. We've shown that you don't have to be a part of the mainstream to have a profitable venture. The internet, especially social media, is not a proper representation of real life. A lot of the aggression is centered around fake narratives that people simply aren't dwelling on in the real world. So thanks to
As you've heard earlier from a dude regurgitating the same talking points as any other detractor or hater as it seems to go around the internet.
all of the customers and fans of the Rippaverse, and if you don't like my politics, you can still buy my books.
As he said, if you don't like his politics, you can still buy his books. ISOM 2, Alpha Core 1, I'm sure ISOM 1 is here somewhere. ISOM 1, $20 now. Fantastic. So at the end of the day, these people will continue to ramp up their attacks of creators from the Rippaverse just because they're working for the Rippaverse, similar to like what they did with Chuck Dixon and Joe Bennett with the Q stuff, right? They did all that nonsense with the Q stuff when their book was coming out, Alpha Core. And they're going to continue to do it with Yaira. And after they do it with Yaira, I'm sure they're going to be doing it, of course, with Gooding because Mike Barron is attached to it. I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if that actually does happen. Thank you all for checking out this video. I really do appreciate all the new subscribers, returning subscribers, new viewers, returning viewers. If you do like this video, hit the like button, comment below what you feel about all this, subscribe for more content, hit the bell for notifications, set the bell to all notifications. That way you'll get a notification anytime I post a new video or go live. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.